The defending champions believed they had silenced the superstar after Caitlin Clark suffered a quad injury against the New York Liberty 3 weeks ago. However, on June 14th, Clark returned to the court, looked the undefeated Liberty in the eye, and delivered the most devastating performance of her young career, scoring 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 three-pointers, and leading the Liberty to a 102-88 victory that ended their undefeated record. The way she did it will give, I don't know if you guys have noticed or heard, but Caitlin Clark is back in the lineup, and I'm ready to go. I think we're just more excited than anything else. Well, it gets kind of hard when you prepare for a game, obviously, when I'm on the bench and still know the scout knows everything that the other team is going to do. I'm still trying to mentally prepare and go through everything like I'm going to play, even though I knew I wasn't going to play. It's a big game on May 24th. Clark faces a physical Liberty squad in a poorly officiated game and strains her quad. The injury occurs at the worst possible time. The Fever are still trying to find their identity as a team. The Liberty are riding high as defending champions, looking unstoppable on both ends of the court. Then she holds her watch with excitement. I think that knowing that I was going to be able to be active today gives you a little extra juice. It's obvious that she is cheating when she follows through and then fouls her on her arm for the 4th time. The haters will claim that she was locked up, but I'm watching the entire game. The corrupt officials gave this game to New York, and they barely won, while Clark watched from the bench for 3 long weeks as the Liberty won game after game, going undefeated and making it look easy. It was almost as if they had eliminated their biggest threat from the equation. The defending champions were sending a message to the entire league. Nobody could you touch them. The Fever dropped games without their star player, and during those 5 games, Clark missed 2 wins and 3 losses. Fans began to doubt the coach, the bench, the team, and even the front office. Would Clark be able to regain her dominating form after missing so much time? Would the quad injury affect her explosive first step? What about her famous deep shooting range? Just coming into this after 2 weeks off, do you expect to be on the minutes restriction today? Medical professionals questioned everything. Quad injuries are difficult for basketball players because they affect your ability to cut, jump, and generate power on your shots. Clark's game depends on her quick first step and her ability to pull up from anywhere on the court. The uncertainty was real. But here's what the Liberty didn't anticipate. Clark spent every day of those 3 weeks preparing for this exact moment. I told them that I don't want to return unless I'm 100% full go. The hardest part, in my opinion, is when you start to feel really good, and then it's just the process of working yourself back into actually getting up and down and getting out there with my teammates. She was watching film to keep her mind sharp and visualize her comeback. Coach Wee has advised me to give myself a little grace as you sort of figure things out, as you get back into the groove here. It's going to be a little bit of, shaking the rust off, giving myself some grace, but I feel like practice is obviously not a perfect replica of a game. I believe Coach White does a great job of placing us in situations that will be fairly similar. The anticipation grew as game day drew near, and the numbers don't lie, too. I feel like I've been great in practice, and I feel like our team has been really good in practice. 22 million people watched this matchup on ABC and ESPN+, making it the 2nd highest watched WNBA game ever on those networks. Everyone was curious to see if the superstar could perform when it counted most. Clark. The stage was set perfectly. An injured superstar facing the undefeated defending champions. The team that had forced her out of action now stood between her and retribution. Clark had to prove her body could handle the pressure, but more importantly, she had to show the basketball world that she was back and better than ever. She had made it clear before the game that she didn't want to return unless she was 100% full go. She was out there to win and give everything I have for this team through every movement, practice shot. and interaction with her teammates. The game was tight, with both teams exchanging baskets back and forth. The Liberty looked confident with their undefeated record, but then Clark decided to take over in the most spectacular way possible. She crossed half court and continued to go way beyond the three-point line, pulling up from 34 feet out. The logo three swished through the net like she was shooting in her driveway. That's what you get with Clark, and he's a great ace and great passes. Began to buzz, but that was only the beginning of something special. A few seconds later, Clark did it again, this time from 28 feet out. Keep in mind that the three-point line is 22 feet away. The crowd was going crazy, and the noise level was through the roof. Players on both benches began to stand up to get a better look. This was no longer just basketball. Cunningham was down behind the play. But they had Caitlin Clark shoot away from two players with an amazing up ball. Before anyone could comprehend what was happening, she was back. The whole Liberty bench was shaking their heads in shock as Clark made a third logo three from 31 feet out. The ball left her hands with perfect rotation, arched high through the air, and dropped through the net without touching the iron. Cunningham, oh my God, looked stunned on the sideline, but they had Clark shoot away from three just now, getting up as she stayed down near the free throw line on the other end. All right, ankle injury, Johannes Counterplayers logo, but this is why they logo. We had another shootout. Even one of the world's best players, Breanna Stewart, was captured on camera grinning and nodding in a show of respect. Liberty coach Sandy Brandello reacted similarly. When your opponents show that level of respect during a game, you know you're watching something special. These weren't lucky shots. Each one was placed perfectly with that signature Clark release. Her follow-through was confident and fluid, and she appeared to be shooting in her backyard rather than in front of the reigning champions. Of two, the crowd erupted so loudly that players had to wait for the noise to subside before continuing play. The arena was electrified. He got one more time. Cross again. No, she's back. Oh my God, this isn't real fire in the game. What, 38 seconds for her to hit all three threes? And not only at the depth of field, she definitely fell right side. Now return to your favorite spot. Again, it doesn't matter if there is a hand. The momentum completely changed in that moment, and the Liberty went from looking confident to looking concerned. Clark had made her return in the most dramatic way possible, but those shots were only the beginning of a performance that would leave everyone talking for weeks. The Liberty were about to find out exactly what they had awakened, and fans were jumping up and down, even if they weren't basketball fans watching at home. Three logo threes in 38 seconds tied her career high of 7 threes for the game, and even neutral basketball fans were going crazy on social media. Caitlin Clark sends back with the three over Breanna Stewart. Awesome. She moved without hesitation at all. Clark drove to the basket with the same explosive speed that made her famous. Her stat line looked like something from a video game on easy mode when the final buzzer sounded. 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in just 31 minutes on the court would be amazing for any player on any night. But this wasn't just any night, and Clark wasn't just any player returning from a serious injury. Her first step was as quick as before the injury, and she attacked the rim as if she had never missed a day of action. Her quad injury, which kept her out for 3 weeks, seemed like a distant memory, and her court vision was sharper than ever before. Clark found teammates in places that other players couldn't see, threaded passes through defenders, and created scoring opportunities that shouldn't have happened. Her first loss of the season came against Caitlin Wisley, who killed some more clock, and possibly the dagger, Kelsey Mitchell. Fighting it up here in the fourth quarter, the rebounds demonstrated her fierce competitive spirit, and Clark dove for loose balls against players 6 inches taller than her. She fought for the win like her life depended on it, and 8 rebounds from a guard position show how much she wanted this victory. What's even more amazing is that Clark shot 11 of 20 from the field for 55% shooting, making tough shots all night long, including 7 of 14 three-pointers, which tied her career high. She wasn't just making easy baskets, though. Clark was hitting tough shots over good defenders with her hands in her face, whether it was a clutch three from far downtown or a flawless assist that resulted in an easy basket for a teammate. Clark always had an answer ready whenever the Liberty attempted to score. This performance cemented Clark's place in history, surpassing Candace Parker for the most 30-pointers. 3 games like that are special for any player at any level. All right, so this wasn't simply Clark's comeback from injury. He had achieved a whole new level. 5 assists and 5 rebounds in a player's first 2 seasons. The Fever had 25 assists on 37 made field goals, which is what happens when a superstar elevates her entire team. Clark nailed it with a 17 run, which set this victory apart from just another outstanding individual performance. She looked more confident than ever before. Her decision-making was quicker, and her shots were falling from impossible distances. The Liberty couldn't find an answer for anything she wanted to do, but here's the most impressive part of the entire night. Clark improved everyone around her. Compete with anyone. This wasn't about one superstar carrying everyone else. 5 different players scored in double figures for the first time this season. The chemistry was flawless from beginning to end. Kelsey Mitchell, who scored 22 points, showed the perfect connection she's developed with Clark over the past season. Mitchell struggled with her shooting early in the game, but she dropped 10 points to help seal the victory in the fourth quarter. That's what clutch players do. They find their rhythm precisely when their team needs it most. We know that basketball is a game of runs and that you can't just give up in those situations.